So there was a storm last week and my fence blew over. Not here though, where I put up the solar fence. It was just fine, but all the way down there we lost 2 posts. I fixed them yesterday, but even though this solar part of the fence is still good, it's coming down today. Now it does have a few problems, and we'll talk about those in a second, but this is coming down so that I could build this. So you might ask, what's wrong with this? Well, not much really. It still works. It still goes up and down. I actually found it works better than I thought, because as the sun sets, it kind of sets over this way. So this part of the fence gets some pretty good sun in the summertime, in the end of the day. And I'm pretty happy with that. And when I put it down after like 5 p.m., I noticed a definite bump. I'll get, we could be down in the 10 amps, 8 amps, and I'll put it up and I'll get 3 or 4 amps and 20 or 30 watts, maybe 40 watts total out of this small array. And it includes that other one up there. But it'll actually give me some decent boost. But I still plan to continue running. I still have aspirations and I'm gonna run down, but here's the problems. First, the way I built this thing, and I walked through it in another video, I think. This board should have gone all the way up so that this board carried all of the load. That's one thing that would have made this good. So the only thing that's actually broken on these is you see the gas strut is hanging free. These little wood screws I used, the head snapped off because this thing they're 75 pounds of pressure a piece, and it snapped off the tiny little wood screws. Now, I bought bigger screws and I was going to fix it, but I decided that I'm going to build what you saw in the intro. Also, I want to go smaller. So my plan is, and I found 6 100 watt, I haven't bought them yet, but for like $280, 6 100 watt panels that are flexible. So they're lightweight. I can build a smaller frame. I can use lighter gas struts, and it'll take up the same amount of room, but much less weight on the fence. So that's the plan, to continue down these, or I'm going to just get one big 400 watt, 425 whatever watt panel that covers the whole thing. So one of those 2 paths is the way I'm going to go, and I just haven't decided yet. But for now, I need this wood to build what you saw in the intro. Now the reason I'm building that is, one, I just have nowhere to put all this stuff. When I put that mower and that thingy spreader, my bobber, and this pressure washer in the shed, it just takes up all the space and I can't do anything in there. So I want somewhere to put it. All this stuff is semi-waterproof, so it can fit right here just fine. So I'm going to get to building this, since you already saw it, show you what it takes. I'm not going to mention the line set because everyone else in the comments wanted to circle it and talk bad about it. I'm just going to let you keep doing that until it's fixed. It's an hour and a half later, exactly 1600, so 4 p.m. A little later than I want to get started because I won't be able to really test this until tomorrow. We're going to have some good sun tomorrow. Hopefully what I showed you in the intro looked good, because it's only a very rough plan right now in my head. This side of the shed faces to the west. So this side always has sun, and everything that I've read says they should be 30 to 35 degrees pointed west. So I'm going to put these at about 32 degrees right here, just like you saw. Like I said, there's no plans. I didn't write anything down. I got some unistrut over there. The unistrut, and I got some little mounting things. I'll show you those later. That's what's going to hold them on. It's going to be seamless on top is the plan. Those 4 panels are longer than these 8-foot 2x4s. I'm going to put one 2x4 up, and then I'll have probably 3 of them coming down, another one here, and then 3 or 4 legs just holding it up. And then the front of it's going to be the siding, the extra siding over there. So in one of my videos, somebody said I should throw out my extra siding. So now I got a use for it. So it's going to be, probably three pieces up, and then, enough to get, or maybe only 2, enough to get that lawnmower. If I fold the top half of it down, enough to get the lawnmower under here and everything else So that's the plan. And there's going to be an overhang on the front and on the sides of the solar panels. And there hopefully is going to be room for another solar panel if I want to add to it. So I guess my best case is to just get started. But before that, I did learn a good lesson in panels. So the other two panels are bifacial because they were cheaper. So these were about $200 for these two 200-watt panels. The bifacial ones actually went on sale and dropped lower with like an Amazon discount. They were like $157, and these were still $200. So I bought those. These are 200 watts, 23 volts, and 8.68 amps. And this is where I learned about mismatching panels, because this other 300 watt panel I have is only an 18 volt panel, but it's like 15 amps. So 18 volts, 300 watts, 15 amps. And obviously that mismatch causes issues. So the other two panels are exactly the same as those, except bifacial. And that one's not going to be connected. As you see up there, there's a pass-through going into the shed. I bought another one of those. So this little cable entry gland is going to go down there towards the end of it, and then it's going to go into the shed so that I can run my PV wires to the charge controller. These 4 panels are going to be separate than that panel. That panel in good sun actually does push 9 full amps. So I can get almost 10 amps out of that. So I'm just going to use that as a test panel and to charge batteries. And these other 4 will be the start of its own system. And before if I want to buy the flat panels and start on the fence, that may be first. But what also could be is I think I just want to get panels and put them on this side of the shed and that side of the shed. Make the entire roof of the shed, solar. And then even though I get a little bit of shade here in the afternoon, and that side doesn't get shade till the afternoon, we'll be good. So that's the plan. Let me start building. Like I said, it's all in my head right now. I don't even know how tall I want it to be. And I got to figure all that out, put on a time lapse or something and get to work. Well, this one is shaping up nicely. So the next step are these. I just bought these at Lowe's, and then 1/4 inch bolts. I think those are 1 inch or 1.5 inches. I'll show you down here. They have a spring, and they slide in. Might have to shorten the spring because there's some taller of these. But yeah, I'm going to clip the spring. They go in here, and then that bolt just goes right through the frame of the solar panel, and then these tighten it to this, and I've just got a ratcheting wrench. So let me go get a pair of cutters to clip these down because they're taller than they need to be for this. And then I'll set up the time lapse again, and we'll get the panels up. Now these are my other 2 panels. They're, like I said, they are bifacial, so they're going to go on the ends. Catch as much from underneath as I can get, but you don't need bifacials for this. But if they're cheaper, always buy the cheaper ones. All right, 3 of the 4 are up. The last one, I figured I'd show you what I'm dealing with. A little bit tricky trying to get these up here. I had to cut like a lot of these springs off down to basically 1/2 inch because the unistrut, there's other unistrut that's deeper. So if you get the deeper unistrut, I think it's more expensive though. You'd have more room. But if you cut these off to about 1/2 inch, you're gonna be good. And then I had 1 inch bolts. I had to cut them all down about 1/4 inch. So these are 3/4 inch bolts, and I'll show you how to put these up first. you want to put these on first. Putting these little springy things in first are a nightmare. Even here it's a pain, but these get caught in the oval shape of the unistrut, and just it's a nightmare. So, and then you want to tighten these up to, you don't want, about flush. The bolt itself is about flush, maybe a little less with the bottom of this little thing, because if it's any further, then it's too far and you won't be able to get your fingers up in there to push these in and turn them. So that's what I've been dealing with for the last 30 minutes, but I'm on the last one, and hopefully it won't be too bad. And I'll set it up there. But yeah, it's not too, underneath, the best tool is this 7/16 ratcheting wrench to get up in there, and I got a little screwdriver to help manipulate these once they're in. But once you set the panel up in here, you kind of line these up, drop it in, then you gotta, if you don't have help, you just gotta muscle it up so that it's up and into place and lined up, or else it'll be out of line with the rest. But that shouldn't be too bad. I'll put the last one up here and we'll be golden. Okay, we've got all 4 of them installed. Yes, it's the next day. Got a little dark there. I think I could put one more here instead of cutting these off. I could add on over here. Just go buy a few more 2x4s, and they make short runs of these, and put one more and have 1,000 watts. So that's a good plan. And then I could get a little more under here. Some of those totes that are in the shed. Give me some more floor space. But I am just about to plug it in and hook it up. So I'll take this stuff back out, store it under there. Obviously, great spot to keep it blocked from the rain, and get a little wet, but doesn't need to be waterproof. And then I will run my cables. I'll bring you under there for that. Plug them in. We'll plug this into the system and see how much solar we can get. 2 of these plus that one, so 700 watts was only giving me 28, just under 30 amps at the batteries. So I care about the batteries. And I don't think I ever got over 450 watts. So we're about to find out. Let's get this set up, plugged in. Well, that's annoying. As soon as I got it wired, I crawl out from underneath and the sun's gone. You can hear rumbles of thunder off in the distance, but I guess we're gonna see. Sun peeks through every now and then. Let's go plug it in. Well, all right, so the wires come in from down there. I do need to figure out all this junk over here and get them routed in a better manner, but I actually mounted this switch to the wall, finally. I've got the dumb fume battery, which is only at 12.3 volts. I know it needs charged. The rest of my batteries in here are charged up just fine. So I'm going to go ahead and flip the switch. We've got a little bit of sunlight out there. Let's see what we got. Now with this Powell and EA Sun inverter, whoa, we're already at 42 amps. Right back down here. We'll see how many amps we get to the battery. 40, 50 amps, 57, 56 amps. That's crazy. So this one is not as good as far as giving you information. This one has a harder time keeping the right voltage when it's charging. I think I might be able to turn the settings down. So I have it set at like 14 volts. I think it should be like 13 and a half. Regardless, this one doesn't give you tons of info, but we have 485, 530, 560, 600 watts, 4950 amps come into this battery. I would ignore that 39% because that was on a different battery, so it hasn't been reset. But 50 amps of charging power, which is almost 54, which is almost double what we were getting before. That's great. I could almost run this thing without even worrying about this battery now. That's pretty good on 800 watts of solar. 690, almost 700 watts of solar in this mostly cloudy day. I don't know if those storms will skirt us. Maybe they're over that way, so they might skirt us by. But we've got sun right now, and this, wow, these 4 panels are crazy. I think I can add the other 300 watt panel into this and then run these into here, and that would give me 9 more amps, because it pushes 9 amps to the battery. That other one has higher voltage, no, lower voltage, but higher amps. So it's a very interesting setup. And I could put it in and run it onto this one as well, but for now, 50 amps is all that this. I think these batteries can take a lot of amps. It's recommended at like 25 for constant charging. So 50 amps will get this battery up to snuff real quick. It says it's already pushing 685, 700 watts almost. That's amazing. I need to work on this, but that's it, guys. We're getting a lot of power. Well, guys, I don't quite know what to say. 50 amps off of almost, what, 60 amps almost off of 800 watts of solar. That's pretty incredible. I mean, it's just math, right? You guys in the comments always say, it's just math. It's just math. But that's really, really good, especially considering on a milder day, I can run that. That's enough power to run that. And on a not even so mild day, it'll completely run that. So I'll have to do a test with no battery, see if it actually works one day. Just run it without a battery, see if it'll do it. But you know, these clouds are about to move in and I'm going to lose it. But this is a pretty cool design. I'm going to measure up here for, I mean, a new panel is about $100 to add one panel here. Again, I looked, they're not as good of a sale as I got them for a week or so ago, but the bifacial is cheaper than the non-bifacial, so go figure. But thanks for watching, guys. Like, subscribe, hit the bell, stick around. Got a lot of coming up. Gonna buy some lightweight panels to fix that. We'll catch you on the next one. A big thanks if you guys stuck around at the end, doing all the things I asked you to do at the end. Helps out the channel a lot. But you know, I was accused in the comments of not knowing what I was doing. My response, and this was on Facebook, I think my response was, ignorance is bliss. And I told you I had no plan. I was just winging it from the beginning. Look at that shadow. Look at where that shadow stops for that panel up there. 1 inch, almost like I planned it. Exactly like I planned it. Exactly, because I plan everything. Everything.